Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media users found on the public domain and of fair use and fair dealings. Hiya guys. Well, we've established something in the news in the last few days, that Harry and Meghan are not just good at burning money, they're good at burning bridges. They have literally burnt every bridge imaginable at the moment. The Canadian taxpayers are irritated. The US taxpayers, well, they kicked up such a stink that Donald Trump intervened and he said a word that I'm sure Meghan and Harry don't hear very often. No, pay your own way. Applause has come from all around the world at Donald Trump actually saying this. And he's completely right. They should absolutely be paying for their own security. It's absolutely insane. When you think that Princess Beatrice and Eugenie, when they were, I think it was when they were 5th and 6th in line to the throne, they had their funding, taxpayer funding security taken away. They lived in England. I think Beatrice at the time was half in the UK and half in New York. So any basic security that they've had has been privately funded. So why on earth have Harry and Meghan still expected UK taxpayers, Canadian taxpayers to pick up the tab? Not too soon after Trump's tweet saying basically it's not happening, we're not paying for them, we had in record time a response from several people stating that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex had no intention of asking America basically to pay for their security bill. Or I think that's a big fat fib personally. I think that Donald Trump, to go as far to actually tweet about it, something had basically come under his nose. I don't believe that he was just sitting there on Twitter going, oh look, a few polls have come up by a few people on social media talking about how much we don't pay for them, I better intervene. I'd imagine he's already heard something from whichever department it is that deals with the private funding security, and he just went, no way. But they've not been particularly nice about Donald Trump. Harry, as most recently, when he got caught up in these hoax phone calls, had turned around and said, but because of Trump pursuing the coal industry and trying to keep that going, he had blood on his hands. There are stupid people in the world, obviously implying Trump. He wasn't particularly nice towards Trump when he came over for the banquet that the Queen held. Meghan didn't even bother turning up, and considering she was the only US member of the royal family, it was a real snub, because we know that she made it out to other things, but magically that night she was on maternity leave. Again, Meghan letting her own political views come before what she should, you know, because the royal family are meant to remain neutral. Harry, he was glaring at Trump most of the time. It was very uncomfortable. The only person that he talked to was Ivanka, but we all know that Meghan's been stalking her for some time, so probably that was the only one he was allowed out of the family he had permission to speak to. So the Sussexes have lied yet again. They just lie. So they said that they were going to settle in Canada, that they wanted to remain part of a Commonwealth country. Turns out that was all a lie. We've had stories come out saying that they left due to them becoming due to pay for their own security and tax. I think the tax will follow them anyway because Harry is a UK resident. So I'm not sure if I believe that as much, but the point was they basically decided to bolt before they had to pay any money. That tells you everything about this couple. But no. Harry and Meghan wanted basically to be treated as internationally protected people. They demanded it, if you remember, on the list of demands on their website, talking about Harry's army career, Meghan's personal profile. She definitely wrote that herself, didn't she? The arrogance of when this woman types anything is unbelievable. Her personal profile endangers her, a D-list cable TV actress. Oh yeah. So when it came to them actually putting some money back to the Canadian taxpayers, they went, nah, thank you, the freebie's over with. Right, on to our next one. Again, more lies. One, they didn't thank Canada for their hospitality. They basically lied. They were feeding stories to the media saying that Meghan was walking around with Archie every day, talking to the neighbours. Yeah, turned out that was a big fat lie as well. They were obviously trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. It was reported that the courtiers and members of the royal family were absolutely disgusted at this move that they've done and shocked yet again, which means that's code for they did not know what the Sussexes were up to. Harry and Meghan are still demanding all of the perks for the association of being part of the royal family, yet they are absolutely treating the royal family pretty deplorably, aren't they? So they said that they couldn't bring Archie due to the pandemic that is happening. It wasn't worth risking his health, but they had no issue with packing the baby up on a private jet when the pandemic was getting pretty serious, and flying him to a brand new country and setting him up in LA, basically. So not only have they moved Archie's nanny would have had to go, or nannies. The security teams would have to go. Now, it's been reported that Harry and Meghan have got their own deal in place for private protection. Yeah, I believe that when I see that, because I'm pretty certain that the RPOs from the UK are still going to be with them. So whilst they're saying, okay, we would never have asked the US government, does that mean the UK taxpayers are still expected to foot this bill? This needs seriously looking into, because, I mean, we've said it before, people weren't happy with them having the titles, but this is really making Charles and the Queen look very, very weak, and it does make them look like that they are supporting the Sussexes. I'm sorry, but in a time when we are all going to face serious austerity measures, none of us all around the world know how bad this is going to affect our economy, the taxes, the hikes, the money that we're going to have to pay. We don't know the fallout of this financially, what it's going to be, but all we do know is we are going to get hit with it. All of these loans that are going out, all of these bailouts, they do not have money trees. We, the taxpayers, will have to start putting this money back, because I can't imagine that the government would get together, or worldwide leaders, and they go, let's just write it all off. Let's just pretend it didn't happen. No. I'm pretty certain that they will make people of my generation and following generations, we're probably going to be feeling this sting for a long time. So then you've got Harry and Meghan, who are private jetting in the midst of it, taking all of their staff, everything with them, house hunting, all of the staff that would probably be catering for them, everything. These two are the most famous selfish couple in the world, aren't they? They've pegged themselves as being humanitarians. They've pegged themselves as caring about their family. And it's all lies. Everything they do is lies. How can they be trusted? People believe that they've had their titles stripped. No, they haven't. They are still their Royal Highnesses, Her Royal Highness, His Royal Highness. They still have that, but the Queen has told them they are not allowed to use it. Do you reckon that if Meghan in that conference call said, yeah, of course, we won't use it, of course she's going to use it. It's the only thing that they have about them that is sellable. And the fact that they have been allowed to show yet again that they've lied. They've lied to get everything that they've wanted. They took money off the taxpayers in Canada, and then as soon as there was a chance that they had to give money back, they bolted. They bolted from the responsibility of being in the United Kingdom, of being royal family members. They could have come, just as quickly as they snuck into LA, they could have come back to the UK. They could have been, they could have put all of their staff first. They could have gone, right, okay, we've got staff, the security teams would be able to go home to their families. Obviously being with Windsor, being where the Queen actually lives, they've got their own security thing. The house is already Fort Knox and everything. So they could have just come back for a couple of months while this all blows over. Harry can actually see his grandparents. I mean, the Queen and Philip, if they get this, I don't think you're going to see, like we've luckily seen with Charles today, where he's come out of isolation after 7 days. Amazing. But would the Queen or Philip be as lucky? Harry and Meghan had completely decided before the 31st of March to not honour their roles. Bearing in mind they're full-time working royals until the 31st of March. Last I checked, they went to the War Memorial, what was it, in the beginning of November, and then they were on holiday in Canada. I think given everything that's going on, I think the UK taxpayers deserve some clarity. If Harry and Meghan saying they've got a private deal with security being paid for, and whether it's the Queen or Charles paying for it, I don't care. As long as it's not us, the taxpayers. Because I would rather my money gets put into the NHS at the moment that goes towards the wages of all of these people that have given up their life, they're not spending time with their family. There was a doctor today that made me cry, that he came home after a long shift and his son ran up to him to give him a cuddle, and he had to stop him and just broke down in tears because he cannot even cuddle his own child. There are people out there that are truly risking their lives to help and save all of us, and then you've got Harry and Meghan that are talking about all of the deals that they've got in the works. Oh, they're going to release their new business venture on Instagram. No one gives a crap. The world is crumbling at the moment. People are dying, and then you have the most vain, narcissistic couple in the world. Now, I am definitely pro-royals. I like to keep William and Catherine and Charles. I do agree with a more slimmed down monarchy, but starting with these two, this is a prime example of people that are milking everything that they can get. They are the worst type, obviously next to, you know, the uncle that can't be mentioned, but these are the worst types of people that you do not want associated with our royal family. The Queen and Charles must stop giving in because it's Harry. This is not Harry that we remember. This is not Harry, the sweet Harry that was always hamming it up and playing photographers. Harry has changed. Harry has become someone completely different. Harry has also become a liar. He has ditched his family in a time of when they probably needed him the most. He could have come back and just bolstered some kind of unity, the royal family standing together, but they didn't. They chose to go hide in Canada while they plotted and planned and lied to everyone, and then they've now gone over to LA with their plotting and planning. How these guys can seriously set up a charity and expect people to believe that they care about anything or anyone other than themselves when they've shown the absolute opposite of their own families. They don't care about the people that have brought them up, that have loved them. They don't care about long-term friendships. They don't care about staff, colleagues, people that have really looked out for them. I mean, they have, between the pair of them now, ditched everyone. Yes, I believe Harry is under the influence of Meghan, but he is still making these choices. They have been nicknamed anything from Ginge and Cringe to Preach and Leech. There are so many of them, and it's true. How can anyone seriously take this couple seriously anymore? They are the ultimate in hypocrites. You could literally put pictures of them in the dictionary underneath that word. Trudeau lied to the Canadian people. He basically tried to cover up the fact that the Canadian taxpayers had been paying since November, since they arrived out there. Then obviously when it came to light and the Canadians started polling and they were saying, no, we're not having this. And Trudeau, obviously probably frightened of whether he's going to get damaged, whether he'll get in for the next term, has turned around and said, no, we're not, once the 31st of March happens. And okay, Donald Trump, he's just basically cut straight down the line. He hasn't faffed around. We haven't waited for little leaks or little hints or anything. He's just gone bang straight away. Not a chance in hell. I want to see this happening in the UK. I want our royal family to basically, I'm not saying that Harry shouldn't have protection. What I'm saying is it should not be taxpayer funded, but it should come out of his own family's money. It's £8 million a year. They cut Beatrice and Eugenie off when they were £500,000 a year. You think Meghan and Harry are just going to stay in LA? They're going to be jet setting. They're going to be going all around the world, and they're going to be expecting to have a certain type of protection. But why should the UK taxpayers have to pay for their protection? This is not what taxpayers' money should go on. We should not be paying for Hollywood Harry and his grifter wife. So that's it for this video, my little rant over. So I have got loads of videos that I am doing this week. I promise you I will be pumping out videos near enough every day, if not every day. There's so much stuff that's going on that I want to talk about. So please remember, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And yeah, let me know if you're having problems with notifications. I know a few people have complained saying that I don't know when your video is posted. That little notification bell, it should work. Try unclicking it and re-clicking it again. Sound like IT, don't I? Switch it on, switch it off. Anyway, that's enough for me. I'm rambling now. So I'll be back with you very, very soon. TTFN.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typists, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.